Hello, welcome to the Women Who Tech podcast. This is the sixth episode that we are recording with Kateryna Kladyk, who is product manager and also the student of Technische Universität Berlin. It's not only a real conversation with badass women professionals, it's also some life lessons for us with Katya. Why so? We actually recording this conversation for the third time. There were reasons for that. It's okay to have some issues and challenges to overcome, and even if sometimes those are your mistakes. Like for example, me who forgot a wrong technical setup and didn't record the audio first time. Katya and I met at my cozy home, and we had a wonderful conversation. Well, today I think everybody's gonna hear a shorter version of our fascinating talk, and we're gonna start with the introduction. As I just briefly mentioned, Kateryna works as a product manager, and she is also interested in entrepreneurship and everything around the business innovation. Katya, welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here for the third time already. Such a nice introduction. How are you feeling today? We have such a nice, beautiful weather. I hope this is gonna be the final version of this podcast.
I enjoy hearing you and seeing you every time we met. So no worries. It's definitely cool. Just a cool. Maybe it's just like a great reason to meet up once again. But today, at least where I am in Sweden now, we do not have sunny weather. Yet it's plus 21. It is quite warm, and this is, I guess, awesome news for Berliners. Hopefully you all
Yes,
also enjoy that.
absolutely. It feels like summer. Like it's so crazy because in Berlin, it goes so rapidly from winter to summer. Like there is no spring. I don't know, like I have no spring clothes anymore because I don't need it, you know? I was just wearing boots yesterday and today I can already wear like flip-flops. It's fine. It goes so like there's such a rapid change. It's crazy, but of course I enjoy it and everything is blooming. It's so amazing. Like it makes me feel energized. Like I don't know, weather is super important for me.
Of course, I said flip-flops and I was like, okay, yeah, you kind of can wear the Dr. Martens in the daytime and then you go to Vabali
That's
and you
what I'm
still wear
doing today.
flip-flops.
That's what I'm doing.
Really?
Exactly. How did you know?
Okay, we are true, true Berliners. It's like either or, nothing in
Exactly.
between.
It's
Dr.
it's a
Martens or
cognitive dissonance,
flip-flops.
but I guess you get used to it, like to everything.
Right. Yeah. So today is Sunday and tomorrow is going to be Monday for you. So maybe just an example of your ordinary Mondays. Could you please share more what you
Yes.
do on
So
Mondays?
honestly, every day is different, especially because, for example, right now I'm on a semester break and my semester starts only next week. And I'm taking an intensive course just to catch up on some credits, like to have extra 6 credits. So I have to take last classes during the semester. But my ordinary day, I would say, starts with checking my emails, checking messages, trying to understand what needs my attention for the day. Sometimes, like, I have to prioritize work. Sometimes I have to prioritize studies. It really depends. Certain days also include a product check-in call. I have like 2 calls on Wednesday and Friday. It kind of brings this extra clarity and helps me refine my plan for the next few days and refine my priorities. And for the studies, I usually have like long-term deadlines, some big assignments that I know about beforehand that I need to submit by these dates, and then I would break them down into smaller steps and kind of try to balance it out like this.
And you
Yes.
study in English, right? Although it's the University of Berlin. When I learned that fact about you, I've been like so curious how you juggle the product management and the university activity.
It really depends because my work is mostly focused on deliverables. We have like a roadmap for the year, then we have like smaller breakdown of tasks for a few months, and we plan sprints every 2 weeks as well, according to the roadmap. So I just follow whatever I have like on my backlog, and try to deliver that on time. But I would say uh, I would say that I have a very flexible schedule, and my managers are also very understanding and flexible in terms of me combining my studies and work. They're super supportive. They give me like days off when I need them. For example, this is already my second intensive course in the semester break in the last 2 months or a month and a half, something like this, because first I went for an international school in Egypt. It was for 10 days, and I took vacation for that. Of course, some of the vacation days are mine, and some are just like, here it is for you. Enjoy, study, bring some insights back to the workflow. So they're very supportive of that, and that's why sometimes, like when I got some message from a coworker regarding an update on a certain task, then I would jump on it and make some progress on that task. Then I can come back to doing my study assignment or something. Also, of course, people are involved, and product management is a very people-centered job, and it depends on other people's schedules, other people's priorities. So it's not so straightforward.
So of course, it's not an easy task to do, but it seems like you're juggling both activities very well. So I want to ask you about your choice of the Technische Universität Berlin. Why did you specifically choose that university? How do you feel about the education and the activities right now? Does it also help you with the professional and life goals, so to say?
Yes. So to answer the first question, why I chose this university, in Germany, it is really challenging to switch between careers if you are already in some industry based on your bachelor's, for example, and then you want to do your master's. It's really difficult to take something else. It has to be something related. And I was looking for the programs that could accept my diploma, which is actually journalism, and I majored in publishing. But I was working as a designer. It's a long story. Yes, and I wanted to switch to product management. I took some course on a product management, but I wanted to get this kind of academic diploma, like a well accredited school, just to feel like I can do this job. And also, I wanted to have this experience. Before that, I also applied for a master's in the US, and I got into a business school there. But the scholarship didn't fully cover all of the expenses, and it was really expensive. So I decided against it, and I started looking for more affordable options around Europe. And I mean, TU Berlin is like one of the top universities in Germany. And it's super well regarded, and I was really lucky to get in. I was just attending some courses to gain credits and then apply next year. And I was talking to a course coordinator, and she was like, yeah, but journalism is actually considered like social science, so you may be able to apply this year already, like this semester, like in a couple of months. And she really encouraged me. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot then. And it actually worked out. I didn't believe, I didn't believe that this happened. But yeah, I was really lucky, and I'm really proud to be a part of this program. First of all, of course, because of the quality of studies, professors of the programs. All the program is designed as a double degree, so you get this kind of international experience as well. And the people that I met, like, I cannot stress enough how much it changed my life since I joined the program, because the people I met there are like the most incredible kind of humans that I've ever met. They're so smart, they're so kind, they're so generous, they're so sensible, empathetic, self-aware, and it's just so cool to be around them. It's so inspiring, and it kind of pushes me to and motivates me also to bring myself to that level, and yeah, it's really inspiring. So it definitely influenced not only my academic and professional level, professional knowledge, but also how I feel as a person. And I feel absolutely lucky lucky and happy that this happened to me.
I'm curious, is there a main theme to your studies?
The program is called Innovation Management, Entrepreneurship and Sustainability. It's a Master's of Science, and we are required to take each semester one class, I think, as a mandatory in one direction. So, for example, this semester I need to take one class that would cover innovation, the entrepreneurship and sustainability, and gain credits for that. And then also I can make free choice courses, so I can take whatever I'm leaning more towards. Some people are more interested in sustainability, some in entrepreneurship, some in management, marketing, whatever. I am more interested in entrepreneurship part and management part, as you understand probably, because it aligns with my professional life and my aspirations for the future. And in terms of the trip to Egypt, it was an international winter school. It was a very short notice. We had to apply today by noon, whatever, and then get the results tomorrow and have a quick call. And in a couple of weeks, we were already on the plane. It was all arranged by TU Berlin and the partner university in Cairo, Ain Shams University. And it was like an intensive course. We took a course in innovation management and entrepreneurship. Was a focus on social justice, and it was really incredible. Of course, beyond just traveling to Egypt with a few other colleagues from the uni, it's 20 degrees there while it's still winter here, and experiencing this all, and everything is funded for you. Of course, it's an amazing trip. The structure of the course was really interesting. It was designed by a professor, PhD from TU Berlin, Lubna Rashid, also a very, very talented professor. Really lucky to have met her. The course was focused on many guest lectures delivering their topic, entrepreneurs, social activists, presenting the projects that they're working on, and in person or online also. For example, there were people who have an NGO working on ocean conservation in a specific area. There was a guest speaker who works on healthcare in Gaza, and she was living in Gaza, and she was sharing her experience about that. And later on, we were all divided into international groups to work on one of these topics, but in a more specific context, not exactly what the guest speakers are already working on, but more developing further the idea or working on something in the subject, but more in a different context. For example, we've been working on AI bias, and our teammates were from Ain Shams University, and they were engineers, and they brought this other perspective on the matter. And it was a really interesting symbiosis to work together, especially because we have such big cultural differences. We were two girls, one from Germany, and four other people were from Egypt. We are so different, really. But it was really interesting to see how in many ways we align and we have similar views on the same points, but also they could open our eyes and just make us see something completely unusual for us. It was a really, really productive course, I would say.
You said that the program is all around innovation, entrepreneurship, and the sustainability. And as far as I know, you're very much interested in sustainability. What the sustainability is for you? What in a broader spectrum, but also for you personally, and how, if that's the case, how would you like to connect your professional life ahead of you with the sustainability? Is there anything that actually everybody who listens to our talk right now should know about sustainability?
Well, for me, sustainability, it's not only about environmental sustainability, it's more of a way of thinking and designing and making long-lasting choices that would bring positive value in the long run. it's keeping in mind that your choices right now here make an impact on your life in the future and other people lives in the future. Sustainability is not, as I said, it's not only environmental, it can be human sustainability, about like making conscious choices, not burning yourself down, like keeping your mental health in check. In this way, you will be sustainable. You will sustain yourself and your energy. And sustainability can be also economic. So you are making proper economic choices that will not be disruptive in a way in the future that will not like bring some kind of crisis. So I think sustainability is a very like multidimensional topic, and in that way I am passionate about it, because I think you can incorporate it in every step and in your personal lives, and it's not only about like sorting waste and things like this.
Of course, it's about making the right choices. I can only just add that sustainability also means giving a second life to the things and the objects around us, and even some processes that we. I guess, like for me personally, it comes with the giving a second life to the clothes you have, and this is how we also can care more about the environment around us and about the fact that fashion as an industry is on top as the biggest polluter of the environment. Just as a good example, I remember that some time ago you shared the cool survey to the group that we are a part of, and asking for the input of everybody, like would you or your company be up to use the services of some sustainability company that would help to sustain better, to have some trainees, to have some new approaches, even like when the company throws some team building party or the activity, and around that there is a lot of organizational, and perhaps that other sustainability company could help with that. Could you please tell us more like about like this survey? Why was it important for you? What were the results, and what did this one showed you in the end?
Yes. So sustainability can be really hard to manage. And in many countries, there are already like systemic challenges for companies specifically being sustainable. And there are some rules that are being enforced, and it's really hard for many to keep up with that. And some choices that you make here might have like a negative impact there, and you might not predict it if you don't have like a sustainability expert in your team. We were working on this solution as a part of Venture Campus. It's like startup incubator course, and we were working on sustainable events problem. How do we make events more sustainable? Yeah, we came up with a few options. It was really like a really challenging topic. It's a very broad topic, so we wanted to make our research first to understand how do people understand the sustainability. How do they think it is important? What are they actually already doing to make their events more sustainable? Like, this is really important as the first stage, and that's why we were making this survey, to understand the environment, to understand like the system that already exists, and explore it further.
Absolutely. It's so cool that there are already the toolkit for that, like the survey that is a part of the discovery and design thinking that you can use. And yeah, it's super challenging topic. The whole sustainability, I feel like it gives us a bit of the feeling of guilt, but also the hope and the passion about to change something for the better. When you mention sustainability, people immediately associate that with the environmentalism, and in there we still have problems, and also the guidelines and the plans to tackle that. The European Union has the plan of the environmental commitment. There is the environmentalist commitment score that every country has, and if some country actually didn't lower their pollution and increase the impact, some of them actually are able to buy the scores of other countries, and that's how countries can be still balanced and keep their environmental influence and industrial changes as they go. The changes were not made on the anticipated level. So these shortcuts lurking into and having the results that they wanted, but not being transparent, I would say. When you're studying the socially responsible companies, are they also the focus of your studies? What kind of role do they have, and can business and sustainability actually work together towards
That's a very tough question, and I don't think that anyone can answer it.
Sure, just your opinion, so on, and what you observe.
So at TU Berlin, of course, we have a lot of hands-on experiences, and we, as part of our program, we also visit sustainably conscious companies or companies for whose sustainability is actually the main acting point, like this is their product. For example, companies who are managing waste, or at this one course, we were partnered with an NGO. It's called Cradle to Cradle. It's located here in Berlin. I wouldn't explain to the extent, of course, everything that they do, but we had some lectures at their office and they presented some results of their work. For example, they did research on cradle to cradle designed products, which is basically products that are designed to be reused or last for a long time, that products that will essentially come back to the circle. There is this, as you mentioned, actually, I think that you maybe were implying this because we discussed it last time. There is this theory of, there is this natural circle of how the materials circulate and they come back to Earth, and then we reuse it, and then they bring something else and multiply in a positive way. So there is this idea of replicating this process, but in an artificial way, with the materials that we are already using, and creating this circle of that nothing goes to waste, and it doesn't just come back to its point zero. It actually brings positive influence, not just recycle. For example, when you recycle some materials, they lose their value and they don't end up on the same level, on the same quality. I'm lacking the right word right now, but I think you understand what I'm trying to explain. So yeah, the material is not of the same quality. You can use it, but not for that same purpose. After each recycling cycle, it lowers in value, and it still becomes waste at some point. So the idea of Cradle to Cradle is to design the products that will remain in the cycle and will not become waste ever. And I'm really passionate about this.
Wow.
I got really interested in this, and this is we were working with this NGO, and there was this Cradle to Cradle forum recently, a conference that they organized, and we as students presented our findings. Some of the students actually went on the stage because they took their research very seriously, and they did really good job, and they had something to say.
I just really also like the whole term socially responsible companies. It's not only the sustainability, it's also about being human-centric, appreciating their people, and you talk about that, you think about that, and it gives me a hope. We're giving a good picture of the future to the young people like yourself. So that you, for example, would take some basis, some knowledge and experience that you've gotten so far to your professional life, like the product management, that you can also talk business, but you can also be in a right mindset, socially responsible and sustainable mindset when working.
It's probably very important to point out that my program is actually focused on sustainability, so it's a part. So I'm not so sure that it's actually such a big part of other programs at TU Berlin. But for me personally, of course, I would definitely, I will carry this throughout my professional personal life further on, because I realized that it is important. And as I said, sustainability has so many aspects, and you can discuss it and you can incorporate it on different levels in your life. So I will definitely do that. And it does give me some hope that people will take this also more seriously. But I do believe that the responsibility lies more like on the systemic approach, and more coming from the government, more coming from like large businesses, because companies like SMEs, small medium enterprises, they do carry the responsibility, but they might not have such big influence. And as I mentioned, like to make this ecosystem of like things coming back to the circle of use, it is important that every player in it knows their role and follows through. And it's just not possible if we have different approaches, if we have different views, and we don't understand what we are doing, where we're going. There should be a plan, and I think it does come from like it's a systemic challenge, more of a enterprise challenge.
And why the product ownership clicked with you better?
I think that I decided to switch because I always had those kind of entrepreneurial aspirations in me, and design didn't fulfill those needs that I had. It was really focused on, it's really demanding creativity wise. You always have to deliver, you always have to be creative, inspired, motivated to bring ideas. And it was really challenging for me sometimes, like mentally draining. I know it might sound like, yeah, you poor girl, you were working in such hard job as a designer. Oh my God, but it just wasn't for me in the long run. And I realized that for me also to grow, I had to explore deeper into one of the fields of the design. And I thought that product design would be that. But again, I was lacking the collaboration with people. I was lacking the dynamics. I really wanted my job to be more dynamic and involve more of different tasks. I wanted my job to be more strategic and also bring an intellectual challenge. I wanted to be challenged and not have the mechanical tasks that sometimes you also have in the design a lot. So I would say that product management gives me this kind of unique sense of ownership and also creative freedom, but within an existing company ecosystem. And I think that for me, it is super fulfilling to take on some idea from research to make it happen in real life, to execution, to identify the need of the user or customer, to maybe form some kind of hypothesis, to develop a solution, to test it and see how it impacts the experience of our customer. And also because all of this is like driven by data and real insights, it gives me this sense of purpose, I don't know, and really excites me. So I really enjoy that product management is more collaborative. I like that there is more teamwork involved compared to design, and I love the dynamic environment that it brings. And I really like the brainstorming discussions, exploring different perspectives, and overseeing this whole cycle gives me this, like as I said, sense of ownership, and it's really fulfilling for me.
Yeah, sounds fantastic. Important to know that you were more into the
In the
graphic
beginning, I
one,
was working
right?
as a graphic designer, but then I moved to product design for some time, and I was combining it.
Okay, okay, I see. I also think that the more dynamic and collaborative space gets between product managers and designers and overall in the company depends also on the level of culture and the design maturity. I think that product designers nowadays also take a lot of this part of the pie of collaboration, strategizing, and working on the rationale of the decisions. Although, yeah, it definitely depends on your daily task. And from my own experience, sometimes daily task might be very boring and monotonous, and like I said, more mechanical. But every day is different, so hopefully the people who feel like product design is matching more will still stay inspired. I wanna briefly touch on the your podcast that you used to have. It's 33 minutes podcast. Could you tell us more about it?
I'm not recording anymore for a long time. It's been very brief, and I feel kind of silly about it because I started it, but I didn't really proceed. It was more to take on than I imagined. It was part of my bachelor thesis because I was making this like a practical project and then writing my findings based on this project. But it was a really fun experience for me because it helped me to kind of get out there and create something of my own again. I just enjoy creating something from scratch and seeing it develop, and it was exactly that thing that brought me the most joy. I was like doing the research, planning it out, contacting people, writing down the scenario, and talking to them, and then promoting it, and all of it was done just by myself. And I think at some point it became really challenging to keep up with doing the podcast because it was kind of like a full-time job on its own, and I didn't expect it. It seemed to me like so simple. You just talk to people. It's just an audio recording, you just do it. It's there, and easy. But it's not. It's not that easy. It involves so much more. And I just decided that I'm gonna put it on pause. Then at some point, I also had a few more conversations that I wanted to post beyond those that I already have. But unfortunately, my recordings were lost when my laptop was stalling. I was not smart enough at the time to keep it in the cloud. Unfortunately, I talked to Bogdana Neborak and I talked to Anastasia Domani, which is the first, I don't know, like if the first or, but she's a trans person, and she was talking about the struggles of her life in Ukraine, and also especially during COVID. It was really interesting, and we had a similar problem at first as we had with you, because the first time we recorded there was some problem with the sound, and the second time we recorded everything was fine, but then I lost the conversation, and I was like, okay, it seems like it's not working out. It seems like it's taking too much time. I think I'm just gonna pause it. But it was fun. And it felt to me also like I'm contributing to the Ukrainian speaking podcast industry, because at the time there was not so much. Many were Russian speaking also. And I saw like this is the gap that needs to be filled. And it felt really right to do this. But it was more than I could take on.
It's so important that you supported and contributed to the Ukrainian speaking community at that time. I also remember that the times that, first of all, there were not a lot of Ukrainian podcasts in general, but also many of them were Russian speaking, and the Ukrainian one had the chance to stand out in there, and it's cool. It was a nice bachelor thesis and as an idea, and now you're mastering the next level, the master degree. So I wish you a lot of luck in there. Anything you'd like to mention also for the audience?
I think that the most important message that my humble self would like to get out, maybe just follow your dreams, because you never know, and it's gonna work out. You don't know how, but as long as you know, or at least you have a feeling of the direction that where you want to go, you have this gut feeling. This is what I want. I don't know why yet. I have no feasible explanation why, but I want to go there. Then this is what you should do, because this is what's gonna make you happy, at least in my experience.
For sure. It's just, I mean, we are close to the Easter, and it seems like it's also okay and proper to say that. Small steps also matter, and they're gonna get us to the place and the time that we are looking for, and fulfill us in many ways we do not expect as of now. So yeah, it was a short one. I hope you enjoyed it. I would invite you to read out the captions and descriptions to this episode, because I'm gonna ask Katya to share her favorite bloggers or books or something like that can be anything, tech people, media people, or maybe just a list of books that had the most tremendous impact on me. As a bonus, please find them there in the description to this episode. And I thank you for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed this episode of the Women Who Tech podcast. It was Kateryna Kladyk, product manager and tube student, and your humble hostess Lisa, and I hope we're gonna hear each other and see each other on YouTube next time.
Thank you so much, Lisa. It was an honor to be here. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun.
For sure. We did that finally, the third time, and we did that.